already talked about integration. Now we're going to be talking more about commitment to practice, because both of these are very necessary indeed if we're going to make a go of our practice of self-development.
Buddhists are connected to the ultimate light of the Lord Buddha by being reminded of his teachings.
Whenever we lose peace, we lack peace, we have frustration, anxiety and troubles.
But you can also use various different types of vegetables and fruits and carve it out.
Sawadee. Welcome to another edition of Meditation for All. I am Sunanpan Rotjan and I will be guiding you through the program. This time on meditation and self-development, we will take a look at more strategies that may help us to confront our decision-making in life. Venerable Nicholas Thanissaro will be discussing in more detail the challenges to self-development, namely the commitment to practice that will lead to better things in life.
Welcome back to our mini-series on meditation and self-development. Last week we already spoke about integration of our spiritual practice into our daily life, especially by the principles of what we call the Noble Eightfold Path, and also the principles by which we can decide just how much to integrate into the norms of society. But this week we're going on a little bit further to meet up the other part of this second great challenge to the self-developer, which is commitment to practice. We already talked about integration. Now we're going to be talking more about commitment to practice, because both of these are very necessary indeed if we're going to make a go of our practice of self-development. Normally when we do good things for other people or for ourselves in the world, we tend to do them on a one-off basis. Sometimes we don't string them together to see whether they are really part of a path which is leading us onwards in life. But part of the principles which we're going to be looking at today are that really the good deeds or the virtuous deeds, the things which we do which contribute to our self-development, are all building one on the other to lead us eventually to become a better person. The things that we do once or twice in a day or once or twice in our lives, yes, they do give us a feeling of positivity in our mind. They may make us feel good about ourselves for a certain period of time. But later on this feeling may disappear completely. The sort of efforts which we are talking about today are the sort of efforts in self-development which we do so often, so habitually, that they become ingrained in our own flesh and blood, to the extent that they become really a part of our own personality. The key word in this sort of perfectionism in our own self-development really needs a great deal of commitment and earnest in the practice of good deeds. And this is something which can apply to all aspects of our spiritual practice, our working life, our studies if you may like, and it goes beyond simply doing good deeds in life. Really the main principle of this perfectionism, or doing good deeds on a level that they are becoming part of our flesh and blood, is that we should have no excuses about how well we do them. Because most people have limits to how much commitment they have to the good deeds which they do. You ask the person to do something to the best of their ability, to the best of their quality they can manage. Normally they will complain that they don't have enough time to do it, or they may not have enough resources to do it, or they may not have enough help or labor to be able to finish something in time. But for a sort of person who is interested in perfectionism, even these sort of excuses are something that they will put aside when they come to doing the best things, the things which are counting for the self-development in life. And this can apply to all aspects of our life. For example, if we are students in school, then we ought to be making sure that we do the best we can when we come to study in our school. It's not just to pass our examinations that we're in school, but in fact it is to gain the wisdom and gain the knowledge which are going to pave the way to success in our life, both in worldly and spiritual ways. Most people think of going to school as just a chore, but if we are really interested in self-development, we should be trying to see if there are always better ways in which we can study. For example, by seeking out the teachers who are really going to be able to help us to work towards our wisdom and our vocational knowledge which is going to be helpful to us in life. We ought to listen attentively to what they have to teach, teaching them respect instead of just seeing them as those who have been hired to lecture to us. We ought to be attentive in what we listen to from what they have to say, and we ought to give the time which is necessary for what they have taught us to sink in, being committed to putting what they have taught to us to our memories as well. After we have memorized what they have taught us, then we should reflect on what we have learned. If we don't memorize what they have taught us, then it's very hard to know how we can reflect on these things, because otherwise the knowledge will just stay in the books. Every sort of knowledge has something which we have to memorize. If it's a language you're learning, then you have to memorize the vocabulary, you have to memorize the grammar. And if you are learning your timetables for your arithmetic, then you have to memorize those as well. So there are always aspects of knowledge which you have to memorize. If you don't put in the effort to memorize those things, then it's as if you haven't really committed yourself to the things which you're trying to learn. Last of all, you have to apply what you have learned, both for the benefit of yourself and also for the benefit of other people. If you apply it only for your own self-interest, then it's said that you haven't really learned all that there is to learn. You have to apply it for the benefit of others too, to really get down to the roots of that sort of knowledge. So you can see that even with study, this is something where you can measure yourself up to see whether you are really earnest in your studies or not. This is because the real work behind applying yourself in this way is not just the work of being a good student, but in fact it's the work of the mind. If you approach what you do in the right way, then it builds up habits in your mind of sincerity and of always trying your best no matter what you turn your hand to. Otherwise, it's rather like you tell lies to yourself when you are doing anything. If you're not putting the whole of yourself into what you do, then it's as if you are not being totally honest with yourself. And this is something which we're trying to overcome when we are pursuing perfection. So let's see how we can really be earnest, how we can really be honest with ourselves in other situations. For example, supposing we have certain duties which have been allocated to us, supposing we have accepted and taken on certain duties, and we have to try to do those duties to the best of our ability, to try to be consistent, not start off in a diligent way and later on become more shoddy in the things we're doing, but try to keep up the quality of the duties which we're doing throughout the time which we are committed to those duties. In a working context, many people feel they just go to work in order to get a salary, but in fact that's not entirely true. What you get at work is many things. You get to show off your abilities to have craftsmanship, and in fact the better you work, the more your skillfulness will come in the work which you are doing. If you take pride in your work, then in fact this sets up a much better quality of mind which you can bring with you to your meditation later in the day. But if you're a sort of person who never finishes work you start out on, or if you do work with the wrong timing or in an inappropriate way, or you never get around to starting the work because you're more interested in other things, then what you get from the workplace is really very little. Your workplace is more in opposition to your self-development than being a part of it. So you should try to extend the principles of perfectionism even to the working environment. If you find that you're the sort of person who goes to work, but you're more interested in eating, or you're more interested in sleeping, or you're more interested in drinking alcohol or taking intoxicants, or you're more interested in your boy or girlfriends, you're more interested in gambling or habitually getting up late, or you're full of excuses, then you find that what you should gain in your work is really significantly decreased. You should always try to work to the best of your ability, and the things which you choose to do in the workplace ought to be things which are really things which are of benefit to society. Last week we already talked about some of the livelihoods which we should try to avoid. But if you are doing something which is really of benefit for society anyway, then you should really put in the best of your efforts to make sure that society does receive something beneficial which is worthwhile for all the efforts which you put into it. The principles which we normally use in order to be successful in our work are four, the so-called four bases of success, or Itipata. For example, we need to have the enthusiasm and initial inspiration and willing to do the work in the first place. Without that, we can never build up the enthusiasm to get started on the work which we are doing. Once we've got started, then we need to follow on with the work until we reach a successful conclusion in the work. And last of all, we should always go over our work a second time to see if there's a better way in which we could have done it, or a more efficient way, so that our time spent at work is always moving towards a more perfect way of achieving the task which we are trying to fulfill. So if you've been in work for 10 years and you're still doing the same old thing in the same old way, then it's as if you're not really interested in self-development. But if you're always trying to find new and better ways to do the same thing, then that would seem that you have brought your self-development even into the working environment. Last but not least, when you are in the workplace, one of the things which really helps your job satisfaction a lot is to be able to get along well with the people around you in your workplace. So if you're the sort of person who doesn't get along well with your workmates, then again, this is another area of your work which you could perhaps be building on and improving on as you are doing your job. Another sort of area in which you can build on your perfectionism is also our earnest in the connection with the subject of our punctuality or our timing. You might think that this is not a particularly important aspect, but in fact, even for young children growing up, the aspect of timing can be very important indeed. If you don't teach a child to go to bed on time, then they wake up sleepy, they wake up with no enthusiasm to go to school anymore. The result of such a negligence would lead them perhaps to lie instead of going to school, or to be uninspired in their studies, and in fact they could waste their whole future just as a result of not having gone to bed on time. So you can see punctuality is something which is very important. It's something which we should try to train ourselves in order that we can make the best use of our time, so that we can see that time is an opportunity and it's not to be wasted. This is very important for our self-development, where time is so precious anyway. Another thing which we have to be earnest in our pursuit of perfection is our relationships with people. Sometimes you may wonder how you can afford to be so honest and so unconditional with every person you meet. Well, of course, some people are able to be more unconditional with more people. But if you are unable to be unconditional with everyone which you meet in your relationships, then you should start at least with those who are your nearest and dearest. Particularly important in your relationships are the trust and the unconditional nature of the relationships which you should have with your own parents and with your children and with your spouse. If you can manage to be unconditional in your relationships with other people, such as your friends or your colleagues or your subordinates, then that is the more the merrier. But you shouldn't overextend yourself with those members of your extended family if you have not been able to fulfill your unconditional relationships yet for those who are nearest and dearest to you. Last but not least, you should be earnest in your practice of good deeds of every sort. Of course, we mean by that you should be unconditional in the time and the importance which you give to your meditation. But this also applies to things like generosity and self-discipline, renunciation, wisdom, fortitude, practice, truthfulness, resolution, loving-kindness, and equanimity, which are what we call the 10 perfections. They are, in fact, the qualities which we are trying to build up for ourselves to the point that they become ingrained in our very being. If we can manage to be sincere in everything which we aim at, what we will find is that our life starts to fall into place in a way which really does fit in with our meditation practice. What we will find is that no matter what we're doing, it contributes the energy and the inspiration to the meditation practice in a way that is almost as if we are meditating as we are doing other things. It's like everything which comes to us is an opportunity by which we can train ourselves if this is the case. So don't see life as an obstacle to your meditation, but see it as an opportunity for integrating and committing the good qualities which you have in your meditation to other aspects of your life as well. In this way, you can bring perfectionism into every aspect of your life, and your life will become an integrated whole. all a part of your efforts in self-development. So, today we've been looking at ways to build commitment into aspects of our self-development which might concern the quality of the mind. During the coming week, why not try observing how much earnest you put into the things which you do in your life, and see if these strategies which we've talked about today have been useful to you. If you find you're not making as much progress as you might want to do in your meditation, then why not see whether you are lacking earnest in your relationships, in your punctuality, your work, or your duties, because some of these may be affecting the amount of energy which is left to you when you come to do your meditation. If you find that you have any doubts about your progress, then please feel free to get in contact with the Meditation for All program, and we'll be more than happy to answer any queries which you may have. But in the meantime, we'll be going on next week to look at some ways to earn ourselves more friends and also enemies if we do it in the wrong way. In the meantime, please keep up your daily meditation, and I'll be seeing you again at the same time next week.
On Buddhist culture, we will continue to explore the Buddhist tradition of paying homage to the Lord Buddha, which consists of offerings made to the Buddha image in one's household. I am quite sure that a good night's sleep is on everybody's wish list. Next, you will see how Buddhists obtain a peaceful slumber and real rest.
Every night, Buddhists have been taught to turn their humble pillow into a cushion of peacefulness. And upon it, they gain their final rest of the day, with hope for a better tomorrow. Deep sleep is the nectar of life. It is a divine gift that eases life and ensures the survival of the planet Earth. People of every rank and status, even the aristocrat or the plutocrat, all require the beautiful final rest of the day. And a good slumber does not depend on or belong to any power or position. A quick journey into restful sleep depends on gentleness, serenity, and emotional beauty. Such rest also depends on believing in the treasure of lying down on the promising track to happiness. Buddhists are connected to the ultimate light of the Lord Buddha by being reminded of his teachings, or through meditation, leading to the achievement of inner peace via the gateway to the middle way. This will quickly lead a person to be on the path to a peaceful sleep. Sitting in meditation and achieving the inner serenity associated with the gateway to the middle way serves as the best preparation for sleep. And before lying down, one should bow 3 times to pay homage to the Lord Buddha. Through the regular practice of meditation, a good Buddhist can immediately enter the stream of tranquility, attaining a deep state of restfulness, undisturbed by an agitated mind. The position of the pillow on which we lay our heads contributes to the restfulness of our sleep. Thus, it is best to arrange our pillow to reinforce our serenity to the highest degree. Whether or not a person meditates, it is a custom that a Buddhist must chant a brief verse and give 3 salutations to pay homage to the Triple Gem of Buddhism before laying down to sleep. The first salutation is to honor the Lord Buddha himself. The second is to pay reverence to the Dharma, the ultimate truth revealed by the Lord Buddha. The third is to pay respect to his disciples in the Sangha, the monastic order which sustains Buddhism. These actions connect us to the Lord Buddha, who resides eternally in nirvana, a state beyond even the heavens. Our actions request him to shine his absolute light of peace down on us, turning a simple pillow into a sacred cushion of serenity on which we can rest. And these actions are a technique to soothe and relax the mind so that it remains calm in the shelter of the ultimate truth. Buddhism continues, walking hand in hand with the flow of time. After 2,549 years, Buddhist beliefs remain vibrant. Getting in touch with the Lord Buddha before going to sleep keeps the miracle of his teachings alive. Buddhists will tell you that the Triple Gem is the invisible sacred shelter under which they place their final rest of the day, with the hope of having a better tomorrow with the first light of the rising sun.
It is now time for us to let go of our worldly worries and find peace in our meditation.
Peace is the essence of life. Every life on earth needs peace. Even the most cruel, the most aggressive person, he always requires peace, especially inner peace. Welcome everyone back to Meditation for All. This is session 8, Part 2. How is your meditation? Have you enjoyed having your inner peace through meditation? Hope you have got some kind of peace inside. Life without peace is the life so troublesome. Why troublesome? Because whenever we lose peace, we lack peace, we have frustration, anxiety and troubles instead. So we should have peace all the time. Otherwise we have the other side of life which is unfavorable to us and to everyone. To gain peace, it is the task or the duty of the mind. Mind is the only thing, the only item in your life that could generate peace. Once you meditate, you know how to get peace. When the mind goes to the center of the body, we gain peace gradually. So in order to have a more perfect life, to live a better life, a happier life, meditation is just the key. Why don't we meditate together again? Hope you understand the basic. But for the newcomer, don't worry. I will spend a little time reviewing the basic so you can enjoy meditation together with the regular meditators. Right, we choose as before the best corner in your own place. You might sit on the chair, but if you sit on the chair, you can lean your back a little, but not to bend your back, otherwise it will get hurt. But if you sit on the floor, you should keep your back up straight. To be smart, and your spine should be erect in order to enjoy meditation without any interrupting pain. Remember, a cup or a glass of lukewarm water or just a soft drink is a good item just before entering meditation atmosphere. And I suppose by now everyone is quite ready to meditate. Why don't we slowly close the eyes together? We just close the eyes softly, allowing the eyelids just about to touch each other. We don't squeeze the eyelids tight. It will create tension all around the eyes and the whole body. Allow the tensions everywhere around the head, all the muscles around the eyes. Allow them to disappear slowly. Let go all the tensions we may have. The area around the forehead, around the eyes, the cheeks, the jaws. Begin relaxing the body from head to toes. It is like we get dipped into the liquid, the flow, water of relaxation. Such stream of relaxation is now taking over our entire body. We relax more and more. Slowly, relaxation takes over every organism of the body of ours. And then we take a good deep breath to freshen up the inner body inside. And on the out breath, release all the heat and all the tensions of the mind. Refresh on the in-breath. Relax on the out-breath. Refresh and relax again and again. At this, the beginning of meditation time. Remember the turning point we have learned together for many times. The turning point is the point where the in-breath starts to become the out-breath. That far end of the in-breath, passing the lungs downward into the stomach. Notice the far end, the very end of the in-breath in the abdomen, in the center, middle of the stomach. That is the turning point of the breathing. We shall stay focused right here at this turning point. We can call this the station of peace. We can call this the focal point or the point of focus, just over here in the middle of the body. Softly focus our mind here. We just allow the mind to come here. We call this the home place of the mind. So the mind will come here, will come home to the home place of the mind. At this very center, at this center point, here is the home of the mind. That the mind will stay here, feeling at home. When the mind stays at home, it is even more and more relaxed. We shall spend the moment, the precious moment, allowing the mind to be at home. Allow the mind to relax and be at ease. So the mind will calm down quietly, gaining more and more tranquility right over here. The mind will learn to stay quietly and motionlessly at this turning point in the middle of the abdomen. It is the same moment now that we gain a little more and more peace. Peace now prevails everywhere. Remember, we mentioned the crystal ball for many times. For the beginners, we just learn that the shape of the mind is round. Round like the crystal ball. The crystal ball basically is a symbol of the mind. We get to know, to see, to observe the real shape of the mind together by visualizing, allowing the picture of the crystal ball to appear up here in the center of the body. So the image of the crystal ball pops up still in deep tranquility in the center of the body. So we enjoy the emergence, the appearance of the crystal ball. This is a symbol of the still mind. The mind is still, is clear, it is bright and in a sphere form, perfectly round, floating motionlessly inside the body. Now we get in touch with the mind. Stay quietly with the image, the visualized image of the crystal ball. By the other way around, if you feel more comfortable with not imagining anything, we can wait here with the still mind. We can be right here waiting quietly for the real shape of the mind to come. The real shape of the mind, the real body of the mind might come up when we wait for it for long enough. If any of you prefer to stay here quietly without any visualization, just go ahead softly. Stay and be still in the process of stilling the mind. Or if you prefer the visualization of the crystal ball, we can go ahead as well. All is up to you to stay quiet or visualize the crystal ball. As long as the mind remains at peace, as long as we feel comfortable with what we feel, we shall never apply any force, but we follow the feeling we enjoy. If you like it, the feeling we like, stay with it. If you like the crystal ball, stay with it. If you like being without the crystal ball. Stay without it. All is up to you. That is so easy to follow. And then we stay quietly at this station of peace, either with or without the crystal ball. And the real body of the mind may come at certain point of stillness. Now peace happens in the center of the body. Peace has one unique characteristic, even though we cannot touch it physically, but the mind could feel it easily. Peace can expand like in a manner of radiation. Now we expand peace outward in all directions. So starting from the center, from the center of the crystal ball, at the very tiny spot inside, peace begins to expand. The manner of expansion, we could feel like the crystal ball starts to grow bigger. The crystal ball grows bigger and bigger and bigger to all directions until it is outside the body, covering us in the middle. We are now sitting peacefully in the middle of the big crystal ball. This is the process of sharing. We start to share inner peace to the outer environment, including people, animal, and all beings. So sharing continues. The crystal ball, the sphere of it, is growing much more bigger and bigger endlessly outwards until it touches the horizon 360 degrees. Let the process of sharing continue endlessly to everywhere, to the atmosphere above and below, to all the universe and to everywhere of the galaxies and so on. But the focal point of the mind is always in the center of the body, and the mind is always here at home. We can see that peace could be generated by ourselves. Only the mind, the meditative mind especially, can create peace. The first person to enjoy the benefits of peace is I, myself. It is you, yourself. Why wait for peace from other people? Why don't you create peace by yourself? And then we can share, give away peace to everybody else, to all beings, everywhere. and time is about to end. Meditation is about to end. We make sure the mind is always staying in the center of the body. And peace is continuously being created always. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are ready, you can count down from 3 to 0 in order to open up slowly. How is your meditation? How is your peace that you create by yourself? Remember, every time we do meditation, we just move the wheel of peace to be moving to go to everywhere. And this is the beginning of world peace from the center of the body of an individual like us. Enjoy meditation until we meet again next time. Have a good time. สวัสดี
In this edition of Cut and Carve, Auntie Sati and Rose Mee Pan will show you how to carve vegetables. The knowledge that has been passed on from generation to generation, beginning within the royal family, can help soothe your mind for meditation.
No matter which way my life turns, no matter easy or hard,
Hi, I'm Rosalind Meepan and I will be your host on this show called Cut and Carve. Cut and Carve is a show that will be teaching you Thai traditional craft. As for today, as our guest and our teacher, we have Pasuti Sanalong.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Also with us again, I have my little cousin Crystal to learn the craft with me. แล้ววันนี้เราจะ
จ้ะ
แกะอะไรคะ
วันนี้เราจะแกะเป็นดอกนี้แล้วกันเนาะ
ค่ะ
ค่ะก็ภาษาไทยก็เรียกว่าเหมือนดอกแก้วนะคะ แต่วันนี้เราจะแกะจากสีเหลืองนะคะ สีเหลืองนะคะลองเลยนะคะ ลองทำเลยนะคะ เอาตัวอย่างไปคนละดอก ตัวอย่างคนละดอกนะ
Today, we're going to be learning how to make this type of carving. Sort of like tulip, but yet not. And we're going to use... Today, we're going to be making the yellow one out of pumpkin. But you can also use various different types of vegetables and fruits and carve it out.
เริ่มต้นเลยนะคะ เราปอกฟักทองนะคะ ปอกแล้วเอาข้างในออกนะคะ แล้วเราก็จะตัดส่วนเล็กๆเนี่ยให้เป็นชิ้นลักษณะประมาณนี้นะคะ
So, when you cut the pumpkin, take out all the seeds, cut it in half to be about this size, then cut again, one right here to get this.
สเต็ปต่อไปคือเราจะนำฟักทองที่เราตัดแล้วเนี่ยนะเอาตรงกลางออกนะคะ เอาตรงกลางออกเพราะตรงนี้เขาจะนิ่มแล้วมันแกะไม่ได้นะคะ แล้วก็ใช้วิธีเกลาให้เป็นลักษณะเหมือนดินสอนะคะคล้ายๆดินสอเราได้ลักษณะนี้แล้วใช่ไหมคะเป็นลักษณะนี้ลูกลักษณะนี้นะลูกนะ
Because the inside is soft, we're going to have to cut off the inside, cut it off, and make it pointy, like so. To do this, it's just like sharpening a pencil in the old days. This is what you get, and when you cut it off, you're going to get the remains, like little pieces. Don't throw these away. These are useful. Sort of like recycling. You can make that into pumpkin soup, pumpkin pie, pumpkin drink, a lot of pumpkin. Anyways, don't throw it away. You can make a lot of stuff out of this.
นะคะ พอเราได้ลักษณะนี้แล้วนะคะ เราก็ทำให้เป็นดอก3 กลีบลักษณะนี้นะคะ3 กลีบลักษณะนี้นะคะ เดี๋ยวป้าจะทำให้ดู อันดับแรกคือทำมีดลงไป ครั้งที่1นะคะเดี๋ยวป้าทำให้ดูครั้งที่2ครั้งที่3นี่นอนมีดนิดหน่อยเพื่อตัดออกมานะคะเนี่ยค่ะลักษณะเนี่ยนะคะจะตัดออกมา
So to make this, you're going to make 3 petals. 1, 2, 3. And it's going to come out to be one of the flowers. ตัดเข้าไปเลยนะ
นะคะแล้วหนูทำออกมาลูก พอทำอันแรกออกมาแล้วนะคะอันแรกออกมาแล้วเนี่ย
ค่ะ
มันจะเป็นลักษณะนี้เราจะต้องเกลาให้เหมือนกับครั้งแรกค่ะ
ค่ะ
ครั้งแรกทุกครั้งก่อนที่จะทำดอกออกมานะคะ ถ้าเราไม่เกลาเนี่ยเขาไม่ได้รูปทรงเพราะเขาเป็นผักเขาไม่ใช่ดอกไม้นะคะ ต้องเกลาอย่างนี้ทุกครั้งแล้วก็ทำดอกต่อไปนะคะ ดอกต่อไป
So when you do this in the beginning, when you get it, you're supposed to have 3, but I only got 2, so yeah. So when you got it, so you get 3, and you have this left over, you're gonna redo just like the first time. Sharpen it like a pencil. Doing this can help you relax a lot. Just sitting in a group with a group of friends and just doing it for fun. Or you can do it to decorate your home or to decorate the plates and whatnot.
หลังจากเราทำอันนี้ได้หลายๆดอกแล้วนะคะจบแล้วเราทำได้เยอะๆดอกนะคะเราก็จะมาจัดแต่งลงกิ่งไม้หรือว่าจะเสียบไม้ลักษณะนี้
ค่ะ
แล้วก็ไปจัดอะไรก็ได้แต่วันนี้จะสอนเสียบกิ่งแก้วนะคะกิ่งแก้วนี่ก็คือลักษณะกิ่งก็จะเป็นอย่างนี้ค่ะนะคะหรือถ้าเราไม่มีกิ่งแก้วนะคะเราก็สามารถที่จะหากิ่งไม้ที่แข็งแรงลักษณะเนี้ยใช้แทนได้นะคะ
So we're gonna have a bunch of leaves. Doesn't matter what kind, it can be any kind. And we're gonna cut it to be similar to this. So it doesn't look bushy like a forest.
หลังจากเราได้ตัดกิ่งแก้วแล้วเนี่ยนะคะกิ่งแก้วออกมาแล้วเนี่ยจะได้เป็นลักษณะนี้รูปนี้นะคะเราก็จะนำฟักทองที่เราทำเนี่ยนะคะเอามาตัดข้างล่างสักนิดหนึ่งตัดตรงนี้นะคะนิดหน่อยแล้วก็ใช้ไม้เนี่ยนำคือการนำให้เขาเป็นช่องเพื่อเราจะได้เสียบตัวนี้นะคะ
So when you take this, take the flower, cut the end just a little, not too much. Take a toothpick, put a hole on the bottom. This is so when you put it on the branch, it can fit right in. Put it in the branch, and you've got flower out of vegetables.
แล้วเราก็เสียบให้ครบทุกกิ่งนะคะเขาก็จะสวยขึ้นนะคะเราก็จะได้ดอกไม้สวยๆน่ารักนะคะเอาไว้ใช้ประโยชน์ได้หลายๆอย่างลักษณะที่ทำไม่จำเป็นต้องทำอย่างนี้เสมอไปเพราะทำได้หลายรูปแบบแล้วแต่ไอเดียของแต่ละคนอาจจะมีไอเดียที่จะไปเข้าช่อนะคะลักษณะอื่นก็ได้
As I said before, doing this doesn't have to follow a step. You don't have to look through books and all that stuff. Just do what you want. Change the colors, change the style. Do as you please. Yeah. And this is the finishing piece. You can change the colors by using different vegetables or fruits, whatever you want.
การทำดอกเหล่านี้เนี่ยสามารถที่จะทำได้หลายสีจากผักต่างๆเช่นทำจากหัวไชเท้าเป็นสีขาวเนี่ยนะคะนี่คือหัวไชเท้าแล้วจะได้สีขาวนะคะหรือว่าจะทำจากแครอทก็จะเป็นสีเหลืองสีส้มขออภัย สีส้มนะคะหรือจะทำจากพริก พริกก็คือพริกสีแดงนะคะ เราก็จะได้ส่วนนี้ค่ะyes
So red
Uh-huh.
one, red chili.
หรือเราจะทำจากพริกสีเหลืองก็ได้สีเหลืองก็ได้
หรือว่าก็ได้ใช่ไหม
แครอทก็ได้ แครอทก็ได้
Orange chili, or carrot.
and แครอทอันนี้คือแครอท
And this one's carrot.
อือฮึ
This one's glossy. This one's not.
อือฮึแล้วเราก็นำไปจะเป็นการปักแจกันอย่างนี้ หรือว่าเราจะนำไปจัดจานอาหาร หรือจะไปนำเข้าช่อลักษณะนี้ก็ได้ค่ะ เวลานั้นเราก็ไปทำอย่างนี้ก็ได้นะคะ เอาริบบิ้นผูกน่ารักนะคะเอาแซมเปิลแค่นี้ก่อนแล้วกัน แล้วก็เอากระดาษที่สวยห่อแล้วไปให้ใครก็ได้ก็น่ารักอีกอย่างหนึ่งนะคะ
So you can make a bouquet for people you love, or you can use it to decorate the house like this, centerpiece of the dining table, or you can just make it to decorate the dinner plate. And here's a example of a bouquet without a ribbon. See it? Okay.
สำหรับดอกชนิดนี้นะคะก็เรียบร้อยแล้วนะคะเสร็จแล้วค่ะ
So this is pretty much what we learned today. We made little flowers with just simple stuff, vegetables, different various vegetables, and some leaves from different trees if you have different trees. And that's pretty much what we learned today. So to wrap it up, we'd like to say thank you for watching the show and hope you liked it very much and join us next time. And ขอบคุณ
ค่ะสวัสดีลูกสวัสดีค่ะ
And thank you for watching the show and hope you enjoyed it. Watch us next time. สวัสดีค่ะ
Watch my life turn. I believe I can do what's right for me and you. I believe I can fight through it all. No matter which way my life turns, no matter easy or hard, I will hold on.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of Meditation for All. We would like to know what you think about our program, so write to us at meditationforall@yahoo.com. See you again next time. สวัสดีค่ะ